All right, guys, let's go ahead and kick it off here. So last time I started with Todd. I think I am also going to start with Todd. No, you know what? I'm going to start with me this time. Why not? Let's shake it up. So my number 10 is going to look a little familiar because it actually made my list of top worst, but that is Evil Tunes.
Oh,
So
okay.
as I mentioned on the top 10 worst, this movie is not good, but there's just something about it where I own it in my collection. I like that I own it in my collection. I saw this when I was pretty young and impressionable, and I saw it just the right age. I had to have been 10, 9. And so, you come across a movie like this on Skinamax, and maybe you have the squiggle vision. I don't know if I did or not, and you see the big jugs, man. You just it's got boobies, it's got cartoon werewolves with blood, it's got a death by asphyxiation, David Carradine in it. There's just something about it that's nostalgic. So it kind of has to make this list. And when you kind of go through one year, you think about the 90s or a particular decade in a whole, you're like, oh man, how can I decide? There's just so many movies. When you actually look up a year, you're blown away at how little there is. That it's actually hard to make these lists because there's not as much as you think. And you're thinking like, oh, this movie, but that came out in 1990, or this movie's a year later. But yeah, I have to make Evil Tunes. It has to kind of, just kind of skirt by in the list.
It's a good
Right. And
pick.
it's got the greatest quote in all of movie history. Fight me on that, Casablanca. Nice tits.
Yeah, that's pretty
It's
good.
awesome. It's
I like that.
fantastic. I used to love when the really hot babe with the brunette at the end, she gets possessed and she's with her boyfriend. She's got like the blood, the one
Yeah.
that the demon possesses. Dude, I mean, is it even if she was possessed by the male dog demon, I still kind of would.
Well, I think they were weren't they all like Playboy Playmates or
They were all
Penthouse?
softcore, like a
Yeah,
Hustler,
Penthouse.
not
Yeah.
Playboy. I think they're more like Club and Penthouse, like the sleazy stuff, dude. Like
Swank or all that.
like
Yeah.
Monique Gabrielle and stuff like that. They did a lot of sleaze flicks and stuff like that, softcore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't know that at the time, and
I
now
either.
it's like,
It
yeah, it
makes
makes
sense.
total sense.
Yeah.
Dick Miller totally took a paycheck there. It also you don't realize it too, but now when you get a little older and you kind of understand how production works a little bit, you realize Dick Miller's at the very beginning and he's at the very end, aka Dick Miller did one afternoon of work for
Yeah.
like a keg of beer and scale.
Yeah.
It's so funny, but yeah. All right, so yeah, I'm interested to know what everybody would think about Evil Tunes. I'm hoping in the chat, let us know, and yeah, and of course the comments too. And if you've never seen Evil Tunes, I don't know where you can watch it. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere, but I'd say it's definitely the kind of flick you would find on YouTube. But it's just got too much nudity, man. I don't
Yeah.
know if it would
We can't
fly
do. Yeah.
on, because it is. It's part skin flick, part Evil Dead ripoff, part Who Framed Roger Rabbit knockoff too. So it's definitely interesting. But all right, Todd, what's your number 10?
Number 10 is one I watched when I was young. I caught it on cable, and then I didn't really remember. Well, I remembered parts, but then I watched it when I was older, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad I went back to it. I did like it as a kid. I liked it just as much when I was an adult. And this is from the director of one of the greatest Pauly Shore movies ever, In the Army Now. This director also made my number 10, which is Toy Soldiers, starring
Okay.
Sean Astin. So
Okay.
basically, Toy Soldiers is a group of troubled boys in a boarding school, and terrorists take over the boarding school, and they pretty much have to save the school from the terrorists. So it's
Never
a good
actually
movie,
seen
man.
that one.
It's
Never actually
cool.
seen it.
And if
And
you're, I'm a Sean Astin fan, and Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton. I always get it confused with Small Soldiers. So when you were talking about Small Soldiers, I'm like, that fucking Tommy Lee Jones movie with the animated army men things. I don't know.
No, that's Toy Soldiers.
Yeah, I'll have to watch Toy Soldiers. I mean, I hear about it, and there's a couple of little movies like that. I've never even seen. I've never seen War Games either. I know they're not
Oh, really?
related, but there's
Yeah.
always like I've never seen Real Genius.
Oh, I love Real Genius. One of
There's
my
always
favorites.
like 80s movies and early 90s movies I have avoided like the plague, and I don't know why, but yeah. Okay, Toy Soldiers. Let me see my next one up here. Ooh. I don't think Todd is a fan of this one, so I'm not even gonna be able to type it all the way. So I'm gonna abbreviate it. People Under the Stairs. I dig this flick. Todd has never liked it, to my knowledge,
No,
but
not really. Uh-uh.
I saw this movie in the 90s as a kid. I saw it when I was watching the actor who played Jesse in Mighty Ducks. I was watching him at the same time. It's like, oh, it's that kid from Mighty Ducks. He's eating good right now. He's getting all these roles. And I didn't even really acknowledge that it was PG-13 at the time. You know, I didn't really because I saw it on TV or whatever, but it's actually a PG-13 horror movie. And I think it's great. I think it's a really solid. I think it's I'm a sucker for these really contained, kind of short. I love these things that could be Tales from the Crypt films.
Yeah.
Because this is totally a film that could be Tales from the Crypt, right? And they just kind of extract it. It's a campfire tale, you know, boy trapped in the house. And I think it's pretty scary as a kid, man, because I used to walk past the old abandoned houses in the neighborhood and stuff like that. You know, the one that your friends would dare you to go in and get something to prove you went in there. You know, are you chicken? And this is like what if I went into one of those houses and I thought, what if there's like some weird gimp guy, and he's gonna capture me, and there's like a guy with no tongue living in the walls. And I love these character actors too. I think they're all great. I think the guy who plays the father, the dad of the house, I don't remember the names. He's so good. He's your
He's the
boy
best
from
part.
he's your boy from Under Siege 2.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, great
He's the
character
best
actor.
part, yeah.
I don't know why you're so hard on it.
I don't know. I just never really got into it. I haven't seen it in 20 years now. Maybe I should go back and watch it. I do have the Scream Factory version, so probably should.
Yeah, I've got it on Blue. I think by the way, October, I'm glad October they're unleashing quite a few of the holdouts on the 4Ks that I've been waiting for them to double dip on. So like for example, I think is People Under the Stairs coming out or is that already out? I think
That's already out.
Drag Me to Hell's getting the 4K. I still haven't even opened my Blu-ray of that. So maybe I'll just hold on to it and flip it or something. People Under the Stairs is peak good taste. Blaine, amazing film, he says. Amazing film. So Todd's missing out a little bit on that, but all right. So Todd, what by the way, not one of the worst Wes Craven films. It's not Shocker.
No, and
Shocker sucks.
It's mid-tier. I mean,
Swamp
I think.
Thing sucks.
Swamp
Thing is
great.
bad.
Yeah.
But I will take I'll take People on the Stairs all day long. Sorry, what's your number 9?
Number 9 actually made my list here 2 weeks ago when I finally watched it, and it is Brian Bosworth's great Stone Cold.
Hell yeah. You just watched this.
Yes, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's a great
for the first time. It is so much fun, man. I highly recommend watching it.
Over the top.
Yeah, Lynch Henriksen's awesome. William Forsythe's awesome. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Brian Bosworth is great in it too, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, he doesn't have a whole lot to his name in that whole field, but what he does have, it stands out. I mean, it's a cult classic.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's pretty easily obtain. You can watch that a lot. I think it's probably like on Freevee and all those things.
He could have been so much more. I mean, I think
it's pretty attainable. That's good. I dig it too. Well, that's interesting. Blaine is saying People on the Stairs is Craven's best.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. I like it too, man. I'm starting to like you more, Blaine.
I would say Last House on the Left is Craven's best, but that's just my opinion.
I disagree, but that's down to taste for those types of flicks. But they're doing Jordan Peele is producing a People Under the Stairs remake.
Well, he's gonna ruin another movie.
Well, it's a movie you don't like. So how's he gonna ruin it?
Still.
I liked his last one, The Nope. Really cool. Did you ever watch that?
Nope. No, I started to watch it and then I fell asleep. But what I did see was pretty good.
It's good, dude. And you give it a little time. And the sound design is fucking intense in that movie. Everything about it. It's well done. I guess my only little gripe is there's like a lot of night for day shots in it that are pretty obvious. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like they had to like do the old trick. Like you see like sun shadows and like, all right, whatever. But it's really good. I dug it. Okay, so my number 8, I'd be shocked if this wasn't on Todd's list. And Problem Child 2. I'm gonna put P Child 2. I love Problem Child 2. I think
great movie. I love it.
I mean, I think it's just as good. You can make an argument that it's better than the first one.
I
You
think I
know,
almost like it better than the first one.
I'm kind of in that same boat too. It's one of those sequels where it does everything the first one does, but even better. And the gags are it's kind of like I don't know what I was going to compare it to. I almost compared it to something that probably everybody would hate, but the gags are just better. The gags are zanier. I love Murph. I like the school setting. We all love the crazy dance scene. I like the sort of competition he's got going on with his sister to be, and he found like his equal. All their like back and forth is so funny. I love Principal Strickland in that movie, dude.
Mhm.
I love the cherry bomb in the toilet and everyone, oh, all that stuff is it's really, really, really funny. I think pretty much all the gags in the second one are just even better than the ones that are in the first one. Everything's up the ante. I love you. I love Big Ben too. He's so
Big
great.
Ben's great.
But yeah, Blaine, Nope's excellent. So, all right. So if you guys haven't seen Problem Child 2, I don't know, man. You've been living under a rock.
Must
So,
watch.
yeah, is that on Blu-ray?
Yes.
Is it easy to find? I have
I think it sticks around like the $20 mark, so I follow it on eBay till it hopefully comes down a little bit.
All right. What's your number 8?
My number 8 is one that I grew up watching, I grew up loving. I used to be like in the 90s. All I did was play Sega Genesis and listen to hip hop. And John Singleton is one of the best directors. And this is Boys in the Hood.
Yep.
I mean, he's put out so many good movies, and R.I.P. Sucks that he died so young. So,
Well, yeah, I love Boys in the Hood. Has he done a lot of great movies though? You act like he's done a lot of great movies.
yeah, dude, he did Four Brothers. He did Higher Learning. Higher Learning, man, I love Higher Learning.
Four Brothers is okay. I don't think it's memorable.
Poetic Justice.
Oh, with what's his face? Tupac
and
Janet.
Janet, yeah.
I've never seen Poetic Justice.
That was great.
Higher Learning is okay.
I love Higher Learning, man.
I really think I didn't take you for a Marky Mark fan.
I don't mind Marky Mark.
Yeah, well, I don't know. So
he directed the Dangerous.
I think he's the Dangerous music video.
Short film.
I think he's got some okay movies and one bona fide classic, and that's this one. But anyway, not going to speak ill of the dead. He gets my respect. I love Boys in the Hood.
When it comes to urban cinema, he's pretty up there, man.
It's tops. And when you want to compare stuff like Boys in the Hood to Menace to Society, which they're basically the same movie, they're the same damn movie, right? Same premise. You got the two friends. One's on the straight and narrow. One's kind of like going on the wrong side of the tracks. Very similar movies. Maybe you can make the argument that Menace to Society is a little bit rougher, maybe in some of the gang violence. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I've seen Boys in the Hood way more. But I like Menace to Society as well. But yeah, I think Boys in the Hood it gets the nudge.
Lawrence Fishburne in anything. I mean, he's great. So
yeah, I'm eating after you eat. But come on, man, Cuba sucks. He better be glad that he made that movie.
This is his best movie.
Yeah, this is his best. Well, I like Jerry Maguire as well.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily like Cuba.
I'm not
even like Jerry Maguire. I really like Jerry Maguire, but I don't really like Cuba. I feel like Cuba could have been played by a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And I'll even say if somebody else could have taken his role in Boys in the Hood. There's just something about him.
I liked him in Boys in the Hood. He had the look for that role in Boys in the Hood, I think.
Do you drive stick? I can if you teach me. All right. So Boys in the Hood. So my next one, Silence of the Lambs. Silence of the Lambs is fantastic. Is it overplayed? Yeah, I think this would make the top of anybody's list of the year because it was such a huge flick. Obviously, it was massive for Anthony Hopkins in his career. It was massive for Jodie Foster. Oscars were won. All that good stuff. Hannibal Lecter was. I know we've had people like Jigsaw come out afterwards, and we had Ghostface. He came out afterwards, but and now we've got Art the Clown, but. If you take them away, the guy who came before them is like Hannibal Lecter. How many icons have we had in the last 30 years come out in horror? Really.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
you had Hannibal Lecter, even though Hannibal Lecter, I know, Manhunter and all that stuff, blah, 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 blah. But this is what solidified him as a horror icon. You go to haunted houses, you know how many haunted houses I've seen, and they've got like Hannibal Lecter scaring you, and he's got the
Yeah.
mask and everything. He's become like a Freddy Krueger.
Iconic. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you had Hannibal Lecter. Then after that, you had Ghostface. Then you probably had Jigsaw. That was probably, and then now Art the Clown, right?
The Art the
That
Clown.
was
Yeah.
probably the biggest gap from Jigsaw to Art the Clown. So props to Hannibal Lecter and props to Buffalo Bill.
No, this is a good pick. This would be on my honorable mentions, but there's so many good things that came out in '91. I couldn't, like, this is the stuff I grew. I mean, I watched Silence of the Lambs maybe once when I was younger. I mean, now I like it a lot more, but
Yeah. Did you not pre-order that? Do you who oh gosh, who put it out? The Arrow?
I have the Kino one, I think.
Oh, they have that Arrow one coming out. I'm pretty sure I pre-ordered that.
No,
Pretty
I have
sure I did.
I have a Kino one from a while back.
Yeah. All right. So what is your number 7?
My number 7 is one of my favorite sports movies ever made.
Oh, Necessary Roughness.
One of my favorite actors ever.
Necessary
Necessary
Roughness.
Roughness.
Sorry
Yeah.
to steal your thunder. It's not that good, but okay.
I love it, man. Necessary Roughness is so much fun, man.
I'm just gonna do Ness Rough. I would love to love it because I love Scott Bakula, but I tried watching it once and I'm like, this is just so forgettable. I don't remember anything about it.
I had it on VHS. You had Sinbad in it. You had Larry Miller, who looks exactly like my dad.
Maybe I should go. I want to go back and rewatch it because, like I said, it's got these people I love. I love Sinbad. I love the back, right? So I'll
Jason
try.
Bateman in it. Come on.
I'll try and watch it again. But anybody, Jonathan Demme rules. Hell yeah.
Andre doesn't eat meat because Andre is a vegetarian.
All right. Anybody out there watching Necessary Roughness? Todd also likes Major League Back to the Minors just because of Scott Bakula.
Yeah.
Did you go see that in theaters?
I probably did. I think so.
All right. My number 6. How could I have a list of movies that are amazing in 1991 and not have Showdown in Little Tokyo?
Yeah, it's on my honorable mention. Yeah.
I'm gonna put Show Toke. I gotta get this figured out with the font. Show Toki. So this is in your honorable mentions? Oh, crazy.
These are my favorite of when I was younger to now. So yeah.
I watched an interview with Ernie Hudson, right? Recently, he was making all those rounds for press and the junkets for Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, which I still haven't watched, by the way. Maybe when it streams. And he was talking about, he was being asked about the Crow remake, right? With Bill Skarsgård.
Mm-hmm.
And, he was giving his opinion on it, saying, to him, Brandon Lee is always going to be the Crow because he was in the Crow, obviously. And he's like, Brandon was really good. This guy, I'm not just saying this because he's passed. He's like, I knew this guy was going to be a big deal. He was about to explode. And I remember when I was talking to him, he was saying, oh man, I just had to do this film. And he was referring to Showdown Little Tokyo. He's like, what with Dolph Lundgren. And he said, I had to like compliment his dick size. It's what he said. And it was so funny to me watch a brand new interview with Ernie Hudson reference the thing that I've always, since I was a kid, I thought was just the most awkward line in the world. And I'm like, who wrote this? If it's not Dolph, like if anybody, I don't know, somebody lost a bet or something because, in the midst of gunfire, he says, you have the biggest dick I've ever seen on a man. Thanks.
It's so out of nowhere. Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Weird. And of course it's got the famous I can hear you coming with Tia Carrere, total babe in that movie. Yeah. Getting saved by the whitewashed Japanese guy. It's so funny. Everybody knows the guys that make the best karate movies are like 7 foot tall Swedish guys.
Yep.
And Carrie DeGala, man, great cast. It's got Tatsu in it too, from the TMNT movie. And I love it because you get Tatsu from the TMNT movie without the vocal overdub that he has in TMNT, because that's not him in TMNT. Like, yes, master. Never lower your eyes to an enemy. In Showdown, you get to hear what he really sounds like. Like, want to see you. He sounds terrible. Like he can't speak any English. But anyway, I love it. Showdown Little Tokyo. Whoa, Blaine, you have never seen Showdown Little Tokyo?
You need to watch it, Blaine.
Are you out of your mind? You got to watch it. You got to watch it. It's amazing. It's one of my favorite action movies. At the very least, it's one of my favorite sort of B tier. It might be my favorite B tier action movie for sure. All right, so Todd, what is your number 6?
Speaking of one you need to watch, if you haven't seen this one is.
Yeah, stop. Sorry, Evil Toon's still getting some love. Go ahead.
Screw Evil Tunes compared to this movie. This movie has an A+ cast, man. You have 6 or 7 cast members in here that are top tier.
Okay.
This is a movie where you watched it as a kid, you wanted to go into this profession. Okay. And it also creeped you out a little bit. And this one that always came on HBO all the time, it recorded off HBO. I kept watching it, and that is Backdraft, starring Kurt Russell, William Baldwin, Robert De Niro, Donald Sutherland, Jennifer Jason Leigh. Scott Glenn used to creep me out when I was a kid because of the scars on his face and stuff. And then you have JT Walsh, who's awesome and everything. So
great character actor.
Yeah. So
speaking of JT Walsh, man, we got that. You see, there's the breakdown coming to 4K, but it's part of that stupid set.
Oh, like that'll release
eventually. It'll get its own a la carte, and so I can't wait for that. But I just feel like breakdown should go to a boutique. I kind of hate that it's going to be a studio thing, but anyway, I digress.
Have you seen Backdraft, Aaron?
Yeah, I saw it when I was younger, but I didn't like it when I saw it, but I am open. I love Kurt Russell. I love the cast, like you said.
Bored you? That's crazy, Blaine.
So as a kid, it just didn't do anything for me. So I need to go back and try and watch it.
Donald Sutherland's crazy in that movie. Like he plays like a crazy guy.
Blaine says it bored him. I don't know. Blaine's kind of like
Donald Sutherland is talking to his shadow in that movie. He's Shadow. Is that you, Shadow?
Shadow from Homeward Bound?
No, he's talking to his shadow. It's crazy.
Okay. All right. So I'll watch it. I'll watch that soon, actually, because I feel like I need to go back to it. Billy Baldwin, right? Did you say Stephen Baldwin?
William Baldwin. Yeah.
Billy Baldwin. The best Baldwin, obviously. All right. Number 5. You know what? A bit of revisionist history on this film before I announce it. I feel like everybody of my age loved this movie growing up. And then now, when you look up this film in the greater picture of like this filmmaker's collective works, it gets shit on as one of his worst films, if not his worst film. And, if I haven't watched it in a while, I read stuff like that. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? What? And I watched it recently and I'm like, okay, I guess I could see what they're saying. For me, I got rose-tinted goggles. I love it. It's super nostalgic. It's a super fun movie, but I guess I understand what people are saying compared to Jurassic Parks and compared to E.T. and compared to Jaws. Hook does have a bit of a cheapness to it. But aside from that, the set design is still really cool.
It's a fun movie.
It sucks you in. It feels like you're in Neverland. What a great cast. All the kids are fantastic. Everything about the movie's fantastic. I'm just trying to they're just coming at it from like a technical standpoint that maybe it's a pretty lowbrow and simple film for Steven Spielberg to do. Maybe that's what they're going for, but look it up. People just shit all over this movie now, critics, and I don't quite understand it. So
I agree with you, man. I like this movie a lot. It's a lot of fun. I loved it when I was a kid. I still watch it. My kids will like it. They haven't watched it yet, but
you are the pan.
Yeah. Rufio.
I wish I had a dad like you. I love
You can fly, you can fight, but can you
Okay, we're done quoting that damn movie. I remember my mother. Yeah, he lost again. That fat ass. Yeah. I love it. I love
Peter, is that you in there, Peter?
There you are, Peter. God, it's so funny.
It's so quotable, man.
And I love bangarang.
Yeah.
I say that when I'm with the lady. Bangarang. And I'm just kidding. What does bangarang mean, dude?
Sounds like a bedroom movie, dude. The bangarang.
It's like is it like a dick that comes back to you twice, like a boom?
Oh,
Gonna fuck you two ways, dude.
must be a
It's
hooked,
a dick that gets you in the back.
member,
Comes back.
dude.
What?
A hooked member, dude.
The hooked member. No, bangarang is a
back.
dick that comes back and gets you from behind. It's just I don't know what it means, but whoa. Blaine, I don't know how to comment on. I'm not even I can't share that on the screen. Hook is a Play-Doh nightmare. That's terrible. Let's see here. Don't forget Cool as Ice, Dr. Giggles. That was on my worst list last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good. Gamer Guy was never big on Hook. Wow, it never clicked. Wow. So, Will, you don't have a soul, man. You don't have the heart of a child. That movie just makes you feel like forever young, man. I love it. The video game was okay. I played that shit on the Sega CD, dude. Hard. You know what game I played on Sega CD too fairly recently too? I played the Three Ninjas Kickback game.
How was it?
Actually good. It was
Really?
surprisingly not bad. It's surprisingly competent. And it was hard as tits. And then every time you lose, it's got the full motion video of Grandpa. You need to get back in there. You rack focus. And it was all like recorded special for the game. So it was all unique footage of Grandpa.
Maybe we can look at that after this.
No,
just look at a clip of it, dude.
No, that's it's game related. We should play it though.
Okay.
Whoa. Hook is awful, Aaron.
Wow.
Yeah. So what is it about it?
I don't know. I love Hook, man.
I have an open mind here. I am just pilled from a young age. When I was a kid, the 3 videotapes that we had in rotation: Batman 89, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and Hook. Those were and then Home Alone came a little bit in Home Alone. Dude, like we wore those out as a kid. I remember like in 1990, it was just all day. All day. So what is it
on the dollar theater, Hook?
What is it about Hook that you think people find not enjoyable? I'm genuinely curious.
I don't know. Dustin Hoffman's awesome in it. It's Hook.
So honestly, I prefer Jumanji over Hook. I don't like Jumanji.
I'm not a Jumanji fan either.
I watched Jumanji for the first time last month, and maybe that has a part in it, right?
I'd rather watch The Rock Jumanji than the.
But just like I have an affinity for Hook because I grew up with it, I didn't grow up with Jumanji, and I finally watched it as an adult. And I'm like, this movie's not great. I just didn't love it. I didn't think it was very good. So I think maybe it's just time, place, circumstance. You know what, Gamer Guy? I won't accept your answer until you define what schmaltzy means because I don't know. Hook is too schmaltzy. What does schmaltzy mean? That could be anything. What do you know what schmaltzy means, Todd?
No idea.
I don't know what schmaltzy means. Let's see.
Hook sounds like a shitty malt.
Yeah, Hook was a huge bomb. Maybe that's part of it too. Is people just look at box office and they're like, yeah, that translates to how we like it. Most Robin Williams films bomb.
Waterworld was a bomb, and that's top.
Waterworld fucking sucks. I can't wait till we get to that year where you talk about Waterworld. Fuck that movie. I can't wait till we do 1994 when we both have like 3 Jim Carrey movies on there. The year of Jim Carrey, the year of our Lord Jim Carrey, 1994. That was his year, man. But let's see. People are responding to this one. I gotta check out these comments. I watched Jumanji and Hook as a kid, but I honestly prefer Jumanji. Fair enough.
Wow.
It's because those dank ass monkeys that look so fucking good, huh? those creepy fucking Uncanny Valley monkeys, dude. I was watching. I'm like, wow, this has not aged. Just, yeah, I was being facetious about Cool as Ice, but I'd still watch it again before Hook. Wow,
man, some Hook hate. Maybe we should do a.
Somebody doesn't remember their
Hook commentary or something in the future.
I think we gotta do a Hook and Terry. Let's do a Hook commentary next.
Piss everybody off.
Let's do a Hook commentary. Let's put it on the short list. It's got to go on the list.
We'll put it on the list just because everybody hates it.
We got to vote. It'll make the vote. All right. So yeah, and that's a great idea, Aaron. Y'all need to do a Robin Williams tier list. Yeah, he's got a lot of stuff.
That is a good idea.
He's got a lot of stuff. Yeah. Interesting, man. Oh, really quick, Dr. Giggles. I didn't want to overlook it. Obviously, Freddy's Dead is next. Yeah, I don't know. You probably did watch last week, and you're just kind of joking or whatever. But yeah, Freddy's Dead was my number one worst film of 1991. I absolutely despise that movie. Hook never grabbed him. Damn, should have got a little closer to him. You were out of reach. Damn. All right, Rufio. What a great soundtrack. John Williams. Dun, 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 dun. It's just so good, we gotta keep talking about Hook. I can remember standing in line in November with my cousins, freezing, but so excited to see Hook. Great film, great memories.
Thank you, Sean.
It's all about the memories, man.
Yeah.
I just think it does kind of look like a, I don't know, it kind of looks like a giant stage play.
It does like a Christmas movie, you know.
It's got a lot of it looks like a lot of obvious set pieces, but Neverland is kind of, I don't know, it's fantasy, it's whimsical. It definitely looks a lot different than when they're in on Earth and stuff. Like that looks legit. And as a kid, when I used to watch Hook, I knew Hook before I actually knew the story of Peter Pan. But because there's like references and callbacks to the actual story of Peter Pan. And I always found it so weird. I'm like, wait a second, like, was he fucking Wendy? And then Wendy got old, and now he wants to fuck then he married his daughter, and he's like that. There's that scene where she's like, I want to give her a kiss. No, Peter, no thimble, no kiss. No, kiss. I mean a real kiss. And I'm like, is that inappropriate? But I kind of understand that Peter's memories are weird. Like he's innocent. Right? It's not personal with Peter. I don't know.
I always thought Neverland looked cool. It looked a lot better than Neverland Ranch.
I wanted to eat the food. I wanted to eat that paint. That fucking like paint. That's like arts class oil paints they're eating.
Yeah.
That colorful like whipped cream with like food dye in it. And I love it. It's just like, I love it. Dude, those kids deserve Oscars for how much they were selling, eating that invisible food. You had that little like David Allen Greer clone kid where he's like,
I always thought they could have made a Rufio, a sequel, Hook to Rufio or something.
Rufio died.
Oh, yeah.
Dumbass. Right. No, I'm just kidding. If you know what I'm talking about when they're eating that invisible food, they're like, I love it. All right, guys. We got the great Hook debate.
Clip that.
Time for clipping. Legit, I prefer Flubber over Hook. Oh, you're killing me.
That's terrible, man. Flubber. Oh.
I've told you guys my Flubber story, right? I saw that.
Let's move on.
No. I gotta say the Flubber story real quick. It's really fast. I saw that at a dollar theater with my brother. I just remember it's burned in my brain. My mom dropped us off, and we could just pick. We didn't know we were going to see. It was just like, your parents ever do that where they drop you off at the theater and you just
all the time.
Because they used to, it's like, okay, what do we want to see? And I guess we're going to see Flubber because it's a dollar theater. And I remember we couldn't decide. And there was like a whole fleet of Japanese businessmen like coming into the theater, like Seinfeld. Oh, Mr. Jerry, like, oh, Mr. Jerry. But they're like talking in Japanese, like, trying to decide. Oh, Flubber, Flubber. And they all started going. And I just remember them going, oh, Flubber. And we're like, all right, we're going to fucking follow the herd, I guess. 2 for Flubber, man. If it's good enough for them.
What'd they think of it?
It's just all right. It's not. I didn't know. I didn't ask them. They weren't speaking.
Give you a standing ovation after that?
Don't know, man. But they make great cars, so they got great taste, I imagine. So we just followed suit. All right, so yeah, we're gonna go ahead and move. Let's move on. Everybody's tired of it now. F yeah, baby Alan Greer. I'm sorry, you guys are liking the Hook, so I think we got to do something with Hook. Man, you guys are stealing your fate.
A lot of Hook talk.
Look, pick RV over Hook. God,
RV is terrible, dude. RV would be a good commentary.
All right, we got to move on, but we're gonna do some Hook stuff now. You guys are asking for it. So, Todd, what's your number 5? Didn't realize we were gonna spend so much damn time on Hook. Don't tell me it's Hook.
No, it's not Hook, actually. Even though I like Hook, but this one is in my rotation of VHS. I own like 3 VHS back in like 92, and this was in the rotation of my favorite. I love the score of this film. I love the soundtrack. I love a lot of things about this movie. I love Alan Rickman. I love Kevin Costner, and that's Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
I've still never seen it.
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean,
You've been
he's
talking about this. You've been talking about this movie as long as I've known you, and I have just never watched it. I've never watched it.
it just reeks of 1991.
Yeah, I used to have this just thing against Kevin Costner. I just didn't like anything he was in. I mean, like The Bodyguard, all this fucking schlocky
You have
shit. I just didn't
Christian
like it.
Slater, you have Morgan Freeman. I
Christian
see, I don't
Slater.
know if it would hold up if you just
Who does
watched it
Christian Slater
now.
play in that? Who does he play?
He plays, Robin Hood's brother.
What was
Spoiler
Robin Hood's
alert.
Oh, no, you just gave me a spoiler? Why don't you just tell me the fucking name, Todd? Why'd you have to give me the spoiler?
Will. He played Will.
That's all you needed to say. That's like saying, "Hey, who
The
played
thing
Darth?"
has been out
Like,
since 1991 for
who
Christ's
did
sake.
James Earl Jones voice? Oh, he voiced Luke and Leia's
It's not
father.
that big of a spoiler. They talk about it early.
Oh my god! Well, now I'm never gonna watch it.
Oh,
I was gonna
really?
like do it if it was somebody like Friar Tuck. I was just trying to envision, the wonderful acting spectrum.
You can
He's
see
like,
it. You can see it a
"You
mile
gotta
away.
get the sheriff of Nottingham.
You can
I
see it
talk
a
like Jack
mile away
Nicholson."
when he doesn't like Robin Hood. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
So yeah, mine would be Robin Hood. Do watch it though because it is a great film,
You
and
know
it
what? I've
has.
almost watched it like a handful of times over the past handful of years, and I always say no because I'm like, it's so long.
If you watch it, watch the VHS version because it has the
The
Bryan
credits.
Adams song in the
I
credits.
I think I'm not gonna like watch the VHS version.
I
Why would
have
I
the
watch a shitty inferior
I
version?
have the 4K. I got the Arrow 4K. It's a UK 4K, but
Did it come out in US in that 4K or no?
I think I got it from
I've seen
Diabolic
it.
or something or
I've seen it, but
those.
did they put it out? Is there a region A release for that?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
The same version, the same like
Yeah. The special edition. I'll have to look.
yeah, interesting.
I love that
Yeah,
movie.
Dr. Giggles. Hold on.
Oh
He
god, I
hates
love
Robin,
that
doesn't
Bryan
he?
Adams song. Come on, don't talk shit about Bryan
I
Adams.
love Bryan Adams, but
So do
even I
I.
have to admit, and I love that song too for certain reasons, but I listen to that song. I love Bryan Adams, but that song goes a little too far for me, honestly. It's just the sappiest. Like I listen to it, I'm like, who the fuck writes lyrics like this? It's just I get it. He writes a lot of songs about love and women, but that's just so contrived. Like
It's
it's
not
so sappy. Like
not
that
for
guy
you.
had to have
It's
been
not for
really
you.
trying to get
It's
laid,
for the
whoever he
ladies,
wrote that
man.
for.
It's not for you. So move
Well,
on.
it's obviously for you. Are you saying you're a lady?
Hey, my lady likes it. I like it.
But you liked it before you're a lady.
Shut up.
She likes it because of you, probably. You act like you were under the influence, but in real life, you know, I don't know. You're one of those guys that looks past Bryan Adams' pockmarks and his scars, and you're like, yeah, I'd hit it. He's sexy on the inside.
Everything I do it for you.
Okay. Fantastic. What do we got here? Plus those sheriff scenes were never funny. Rickman did much better later on though. I'll watch it. One of
Oh,
these days I
Rickman's
gotta
awesome.
watch it. Like I said, I've come around on Costner ever since Yellowstone because I watched Yellowstone. I'm like, dude, what? I haven't sleeping on Costner because like he's good when he's got the material. But
Well, the funny thing is about the movie, isn't he supposed to be like Robin Hood's supposed to be like Scottish or something, but he has like an American accent, Kevin Costner.
I'm sure Christian Slater talks like Christian Slater, like a bootleg Jack
He has a
Nicholson.
little accent, yeah. But
Oh, I bet that's
Morgan
great.
Freeman's always good.
Yeah, I'll watch it eventually. I
Yeah.
promise. All right. So I keep putting away my phone as if my notes are not on it, like I'm an idiot. All right. So my fourth one. One of the films that I have to say was outdone by its sequel, and it's very rare. But this is one of the flicks where I actually love the sequel even more, a lot more. And dude, come on, Costner in a perfect. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said Waterworld. He said Costner's great in a perfect world. I was like, dude, don't troll me with your Waterworld praise.
I love World.
Your Waterworld filleting. That's a
Waterworld.
shitty movie. Anyway, sorry. Back onto a much superior movie. Adam's Family. I love these Barry Sonnenfeld Adams Family movies.
They're
Like
good.
I said, I know we're not talking about Adam's Family Values, but Adam's Family Values is just one of those sequels where it is everything this first one is times 10. So I wish I was talking about Values, but this one's great too. It is so funny. Raul Julia is one of the greatest actors of all time in the industry. I think so. I think he was underappreciated. I think he was nominated for an Oscar in Kiss of the Spider Woman in the 80s. But
I don't think I've seen that. Is that good?
I've never seen it, but he was that William Hurt too. I don't know. But anyway, he was underappreciated, man. He did films here and there, but he played the bad guy in what was that? The Rookie. That's a terrible movie. Oh, that's a Clint Eastwood movie that's not very good. And it should be fun because it's a buddy cop movie with Charlie Sheen. Have you seen that?
What is it?
The Rookie.
No, I haven't seen that.
Clint Eastwood, Charlie Sheen buddy cop movie from the 80s. Obviously Charlie Sheen's the young up and comer.
Mhm.
Eastwood's the pro. And then the bad guy is Raul Julia, but he plays a German guy with like the weirdest fucking German accent I've ever seen in my life. And this guy is Hispanic, I'm pretty sure. Like it's not it's so bizarre. But you don't have to look much further than his portrayal as Gomez to just, dude, the guy was just insane. He chewed up scenery, and you could tell how much fun he was having because that kind of movie allowed for it. It's like, hey, this is like a cartoon come to life. Everybody, the Addams Family as characters are just surreal. They're not real life, and you can just sort of be larger than life. And his dynamics with Christopher Lloyd are amazing. With the kids are amazing. I love when he's lost Fester because he loses Fester in both movies. They're both kind of centered around Fester. You've seen both of them, right, Todd?
Yes.
I love in that first one when he's depressed because of Fester, and he's like in his underwear, like he's unemployed. That whole thing. He's watching Sally Jesse Raphael, and he's got.
Is that the one where he gets the girlfriend or the wife, or is that
that's the second one where he gets with Joan Cusack? That one's
Cusack, yeah.
Amazing. I fucking love that movie. It is so funny, dude. Raul Julia does a monologue in each film, but his monologue in the second film when he goes to the police station and the police chief is played by Nathan Lane, and when he's trying to report Debbie for her being like a fraudster and taking away his brother, that whole scene is insane. I'm not even going to try and recite it, but if I ever had to like do an audition tape, all actors should just fucking take that monologue. He's like, I see justice denied. I love it, dude. It's so insane. All right. Yeah, exactly. Has this planet gone mad? He is insane. I love it. Hold on. The family movies. Here we go. Every line is a joke. The production design is phenomenal. The cast kills it, and the sequel is damn near better than the first. Love them both so much. I think the sequel is better than the first.
I have always liked the sequel better myself.
I think they're both so much fun. I love when they go to summer camp, dude. Those Peter McNichol is so great. You got what is it, Chris? Is her name Christy Borinsky? What is her name? The chick from the Grinch movie. I can't, but they are so funny. And you have what's his face? Why can't I spit his name out? Bernard from the Santa Claus. They're all so good. And I love all the referenced of the period jokes, right? When they get banned to like the remember the cabin where they got to be happy and the positivity, and he looks in the wall and he sees the Heal the World Michael Jackson poster.
Oh yeah.
I just love all the dated references. I love it so much. It's just insane.
Brings it back.
Yeah, Christine Baranski. They're so good, man. They're so good. I don't think they put values out on 4K. I have the first one that's on 4K. Yeah, the serial killer trading cards, Amy Fisher. Yeah. I love all those references, man. Dude, if you showed your kids Amy Addams Family Values today, they'd be like, they wouldn't get it. It would be a teaching moment for you. Be like, Dad, who's Amy Fisher?
We watched the cartoon movies. I actually like the cartoon movies.
But I'm saying you would get to be like, Dad, who's Amy Fisher? Like, let me tell you the story of the 90s. Let me tell you who Amy Fisher is. I love it. Oh, the cartoon movies suck. You lost me on that. I didn't like those. I thought they were kind of.
They're all right. They're fine for what they were.
But awesome. I'm happy we turned the ship around after Hook, and we got some Addams love. I appreciate it. We won you back. Todd, what's your number 4? Don't fuck it up. We're on a roll now. Jeez.
My number 4 is, if I had this director's career, I would die, and I would love it. He directed
Uwe Boll.
fantastic films such as Beethoven, The Flintstones, Jingle All the Way, and Problem Child 2. So Problem Child 2 is my number 4.
I'm just gonna put P Child 2 again. All right. Is this our first repeat? Shocking.
It might be.
Shocking, actually. P Child 2. Yeah, we already spoke a lot about it, so we won't spend too much time on it. But how do you feel about Problem Child 2 versus the first one?
I like it just a smidge better, but man, they're so close. I love them both. I wish they would come out with them. I mean, I know you don't need them in 4K, but I just want, some
Todd,
sort of special
we
features.
need them in 4K. We absolutely need. I want to see those freckles in full UHD.
John
I
Ritter
want
deserves it, man.
I want to see, yeah, I want to see fucking John Ritter have his freak out, his classic freak out he has in each movie in OLED. I
I
want to
want to
see
see
it.
LaWanda Schnage in OLED, dude.
I
Or
want to see the
Schnage,
bearded lady in the first one in
yeah,
OLED. Yeah,
yeah.
LaWanda Schneis. Dad, look at her shots. Look, it's
I always
good.
thought it was funny when I was a kid where he was broadcasting his babysitter having sex with their boyfriend or whatever,
Oh, it's
and
so funny.
and all the neighbors are watching. They're drinking beer and eating popcorn. They're high five.
That's so
Yeah,
funny.
yeah,
It's so funny. And I like the one chick that was the MTV VJ. I must be going now.
yeah.
It's so funny, dude. I just it's absolutely ridiculous. And I love
I always thought his room was like the coolest thing ever, too, man.
oh yeah.
He had like the spaceship room and everything like that.
And it's a callback too, because once again, the king of 90s soundtracks, Brian Adams, did a track
Mhm.
on that, the opening scene,
I
right?
love that song, man. That's so good. Only the strong
It's-
survive.
We still have like one of our first YouTube videos we did like a million years ago, back when Lush was still around. And it's us like watching Problem Child 2. And we're like just bebop into the
Y-
intro scene while dancing to Brian Adams. That's back in the day when you could have Brian Adams playing on a YouTube video and no one gave a shit. Now
Yeah,
it's like,
we had the TV right in back of us. We're just like sitting
I
there
actually really
watching.
like that setup. That was cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, that video is still out there. But all right, cool. So my number 3. All right, so now we're gonna get into repeat territory, but I did Boys in the Hood
Okay.
because I think this movie's fantastic. I think it's a staple of our household. Dude, my parents, my mom wore out VHS copies of Boys from the Hood. It's so funny because my mom hates rap. Nobody ever liked rap in my house. Hates the culture, all that stuff. She's pretty much somebody that grew up in Tennessee, but she loves these urban gangster films. What is it about whiteys loving these movies, man? Is it because we're getting like a voyeuristic view into something we'd never know? I don't know what it is.
I don't know. I
Like,
always liked him. I always liked like Above the Rim. I liked the basketball movies
like
and
Juice, dude.
Juice. Yeah. The
That's
Tupac
Juice.
I thought was pretty solid.
Well,
Back in the day.
Tupac was an actor before he was a musician.
Yeah, yeah. But I always enjoyed him.
Have you seen that video going around of Tupac like doing like an interview audition before he was a musician? And they're like, man, Tupac was hiding something. He was very flamboyant.
He was.
Have you seen that video I sent you
Yeah.
where he's like
I've
very,
seen it. Yeah.
he's very like,
That's been
he's
floating
very,
around for years, dude. A long
so
time.
what's the real Tupac? Who's the real Tupac? Was he faking that or was he faking the hip hop thug life?
I think he was faking the hip hop. Well, that's what I think that I'm not from the inner cities, but I think that that's what I mean, I think they might give him a pass for it, but he was faking a lot of that, I believe, because I think he was
He was
more
the
of the
artsy
actor.
fartsy guy doing theater and he was an actor
He went to
first.
a good school, I think, and
I,
everything. And I don't think
I
he was.
think, wasn't it? I might be mistaken, but he met like Snoop and all those guys from Above the Rim. Like he was in that. I think he was doing that movie. You know what I mean? Like,
No, that was '94, so it had to be
okay, so
before
what was
that.
one of these movies? One of the earlier movies. Then, like, I don't know what it would
Juice
be.
or Poetic
Poetic
Justice
Justice. That's what I mean.
or
Poetic
Juice.
Justice. I think it's Poetic
Yeah,
Justice.
okay.
I don't think he even met Snoop or Dre until Poetic Justice. He was already in like the industry. So it's kind of weird. And yeah, I don't know. Boys into Hood is top 90s tier. Absolutely, Blaine. Glad you see it our way. But yeah, so Anyway,
Yeah, I remember when I was because I was huge into hip hop back then with Biggie and Tupac and listened to that. But I also listened to a lot of like, of course, Nirvana and a lot of the grunge shit too. So it's like back then, like people listened to pretty much everything when it came to um, different genres and
I
all
like
that.
Tupac. I'm not a huge rap guy, but I like
He's a great
I
lyricist.
I like the West Coast stuff. I like those early Cube records. I
Yeah,
like the obviously the Dre records, and I like the Tupac. I think Two of America's Most Wanted is one of my favorite hip hop songs with him and Snoop. That is such a catchy ass song.
I love Easy E too, man. Easy is great.
Yeah. All right. So my number three, or so your number three, Todd. Sorry, mine was Boys in the Hood.
Oh, my number three is even better than Boys in the Hood. So this movie came out in '91, of course, and this one is starring one of the greatest actors ever. I mean, he is. I mean, every girl's wet dream, and it's actually
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
no. I don't know if you even seen this movie, which is crazy to me. How you haven't even seen this movie because it's If Looks Could Kill would be my number three, starring
Oh,
Richard
yeah.
Grieco. This movie is a '90s staple. This is a James Bond ripoff, and if you haven't seen this film, see it
I
because it
haven't
is
seen it.
so
Yeah,
freaking
people have been
great.
talking about it. People responded to you posting about it, so I feel like we gotta do a
Linda
commentary for this
Hunt's
eventually.
great. Roger Reese, he's
Roger
the
Daltrey.
Roger Daltrey's in it too for a small part, but yeah, it's great, man.
That's on the short list too, for a so we're gonna start on the commentaries, by the way. We did it last week, and it seemed to go over well because we got quite a few votes, across the socials, and I think that's the way, at least for now, until we're back monetized and we, maybe start the membership. But for now, I think we should keep doing the polling because we did that last week.
I
And
think for the polling for next week, we should pick since we did the best 1991, we
well, I
should
was going to
pick
ask you if we
three
should
of the
keep.
films
Okay.
for '91, and some people can vote on three films from the best of '91.
By the way, have you noticed how much more fun it is talking about the best movies than it was the worst? Like we're having
Yeah,
fun talking about probably, probably because we're like blown away like, when somebody actually doesn't like one of these movies. But no, I was going to ask you, yeah, because last week we kept it horror themed. If we do these polls, should we keep them genre themed or should we like mix up the genres?
oh, these top 10 lists?
No, that when we do the polls for the commentaries. That's what
Oh,
I'm
I
talking
don't care. I don't care.
Anyway, yeah, we got a lot of stuff we can do. But if looks can kill, that's got to go on the list. All right, so number two, rounding it out, dude. Again, again, Bill and Ted Bogus Journey. This is a sequel that is better than the first one, just like Adam's Family. Um, I'm just gonna put Bogus Journey. What am I doing? I love Bogus Journey, dude. This movie
It's my
has my
honorable
heart.
mention. It's
It's
it's a
it's it is one of the greatest comedies in my opinion of all time. I like it more than the first one. I like the first one too, but there is just something early 90s about this that I love. And there's such a huge distinction from the first two because obviously the first movie filmed in 87 didn't come out till like what 88, 89, but it was filmed in 87. So it's deeply rooted in the 80s from the Van Halen references, from the fashion, from the mall, from having one of the Go-Go's as Joan of Arc. Everything about it so 80s. And the music, I love the soundtrack of that first Bill and Ted, dude. I love it. I like I love that song "In Time" by Robbie Robb. In time, everything will be all right. When they
is
go to
that
the
where they show
future,
the photographs or whatever?
that's when they're like, they go to the future when they find
Oh,
out they're like worshipped, and everybody's like, they're like, whoa, yeah. Anyway, the second one, it just reeks of. I've always said that I am a sucker for anything like 1991, like right at the beginning. I love Use Your Illusion. I love the Black Album. I like Salute Your Shore. I like 1991 Nickelodeon. I like there's just a stink that is on the films of the day, on the music. I think records never sounded better. I think around the early 90s was peak record production because things hadn't gone digital yet. Everything was still cut to tape. Everything was still analog. and but everything had reached its peak. Sounded the best sounding records came from around that era, like the Black Album or Use Your Illusion or even Ozzy Osbourne, No More Tears. There's something about, dude, it's just magic. And then, a few years later, we went digital and things kind of changed. And same thing. I love the fashion. I like the soundtrack changed. All of a sudden, Bill and Ted are wearing like flannel now, and I love it. And the soundtrack we went from extreme Robbie Rob and sort of like that, a little bit more 80s rock. Then we went to Megadeth, Go to Hell and stuff like that. Even though I do give the soundtrack edge to the first movie, the first soundtrack I think is a little better. Yeah, and Station, dude, how could you not? First of all, really quick, the fact that Bogus Journey got greenlit blows my freaking mind. Like the fact that somebody pitched that script that is so bananas and they made it. Like, oh, Bill and Ted die,
How
they
did you
go
in
to
the box
hell.
office?
Oh, I don't know. Bill and Ted die, they go to hell, and they play a bunch of board games with death, including Clue and Twister to get out. And then they have to go to heaven to find this big mutant named Station. And then they come back to build good robot us's to stop the evil robot us's. And then the stations run together and turn into a blob and it is so batshit crazy. And I have to give props to Bogus Journey because it's also one of those sequels that is not just a remake of the first one. Because usually sequels just kind of follow the same templates, the same thing. Even Addams Family Values kind of is following a lot of the first movie. This movie's totally different. They're not going back at like it's a totally different flick, man. So I love it. 10 out of 10. I'm glad that's finally getting a 4K release from Shout. So I'll be on that like white on rice for sure. And the third Bill and Ted kind of is poop, but it's kind of poopy. So whatever. All right, Todd, what's your number 2?
So my number 2 is very controversial.
Oh,
some might not say it was number 2. For me, I think it is Robert Winley's best film. Honestly, he's fantastic in it. I mean, he goes from playing in Stone Cold to playing in Terminator 2 phenomenally. And Terminator 2 is my number 2. I love Terminator 2.
Shut up, you troll.
No, I'm serious.
Terminator 2 is not your number 2.
No, number 2.
That's your number 2?
My number 2.
Wow. So you did not foretell the future, Dr. Giggles.
Nope.
I was expecting it. Spoiler alert. T2 is your number 2.
My number 2.
You're not come on, don't bullshit me.
I'm not. I got my list right here. It's not number 1.
All right. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Well, a little anticlimactic for me, but we'll just talk about it because my number 1 is T2. I don't know how this is not your number 1 because this movie is amazing. It just stands the test of time. Every time once again, 1991 stink. You have Guns N' Roses in the soundtrack. I like the kids on the dirt bikes. I like seeing the old school. I love Afterburner. I like the mall, the early 90s mall and the arcade. I love looking at the old school ATMs.
Mm-hmm.
I love the denim jackets like Bobby Budnick is wearing. I like the mullet. I like seeing the neighborhood. It was filmed I'm pretty sure it's filmed in Riverside, like Todd and Janelle's neighborhood. I love seeing those houses. And I know those houses still exist. Like there's plenty of houses that were built in the 90s, but I love it. I love the fact that I'm watching these houses in the 90s and just everything. And I'm seeing the cars from the 90s and I'm just, pining for the 90s, I guess, but I love it, dude. How it's just, and it gets better with age. Every time I watch it, it's so fantastic. How could this not be your number 1? But
no, it's definitely my number 2. I mean, when it comes to 1991, this was the year where Terminator 2 is fantastic. I love Terminator 2, but it wasn't in my rotation as much as this. This Terminator 2 is second because, of course, we recorded this on HBO, that sort of thing.
Beauty and the Beast, right? Dr. Giggles has it.
My number 1 for the greatest film of 1991 is one that I watched a million times, and it just gets better with age. And
absolutely not
with Corey Feldman being the main star.
Dude, you're
Rock and
full
Roll
of
High School
shit, dude.
forever. Rock and Roll High School Forever is still my favorite film of 1991.
You are full of
I'm
shit.
not full of shit because I mean this is the 90s stink is all over this with the
Dude.
Eradicator soundtrack. Corey Feldman is phenomenal in it. He's so funny in it. Just everything about this. It reminds me of being a kid again. When I watch this, just the stupid humor in it is so funny, man.
I don't doubt.
I love it.
I know your nostalgic connection to it because you've been talking about this movie as long as I've known you.
Yes.
And I just watched it for the first time like a couple of months ago, and it is a 5 at best.
This is a 10 out of 10. This is a 10
wow,
out of 10.
dude, can you hear yourself right now? You're saying a Corey Feldman movie.
Yes.
A past his prime Corey Feldman movie is better than T2.
He was a coked out Corey.
I would love to hear you say that to James Cameron's face sometime. He'd probably like spontaneously combust.
Well,
wow.
Corey Feldman is number 1 in my book.
The day the giggles died.
Sorry, guys. If you haven't seen Rock and Roll High School Forever, do yourself a favor.
I feel like Todd is trying to just add a little drama to the show.
I am not adding drama.
I feel like that was probably really his number 2.
It's my number 1. No.
I don't think. Are you allowed to like deny someone's opinion? You're wrong. Your number 1 is wrong.
No, my number 1 is not wrong. I could show you my notes if you want to see them. You don't believe me.
I'm not saying it's not on your notes. I'm just saying it's wrong. It's wrong.
That's why I said in the beginning of this is my favorite.
And what's their name again? The Eradicators?
Yeah, that's his band.
Music
Eradicators.
sucks. It
they're
sucks.
Great, dude.
Why are they playing that fucking oldies music in 1991? Makes no sense. Like again, it's Rock and Roll High School. You think they're gonna be playing like
Bill Haley in the comments used to do it.
So weird. I was expecting for them to like be jamming out to some Van Halen, like to be of the era. They got the leather jacket. And they're playing like Bill Haley in the comments. Like, what is this?
That's rock and roll, baby. That's rock and roll.
I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, fair enough.
You wanted to go first. I'm sorry it ended like that, but you wanted to go first.
That's true. I just knew we'd both have T2 as number 1. No. I just knew. It was written in the stars. All roads lead.
I love T2.
How I should have known.
I love T2, but I love Rock and Roll High School Forever.
Yeah, Silence of the Lambs is number 1. Dr. Giggles. I would have gladly taken that answer over Rock and Roll High School Forever. So you must really love Leanne Curtis. It must have been a complete honor when we got to talk to her so many years ago.
I was tickled, man. I was smitten. It was fun, man. That was my movie growing up, man.
I think Todd reached out. We're trying to get Leanne back.
Yeah, I need to try to hit her up again.
Did you even really message her? Because
I did.
She seems super social.
Yeah, I did. I did message her.
Yeah,
I did on Facebook. Maybe I'll try on Instagram if she's on that.
Wow, Giggles. T2's not even in his top 10. Whoa. Some of you kids don't know how to 90s, and it shows.
Yeah, I mean, you had Corey Feldman, you had Mary Warnoff, you had Larry Linville, which I love Larry Linville from MASH, man. Yeah, he's so funny, dude.
Yeah, he's great.
So maybe that should be one of our options for a commentary.
Yeah, well, I wanted to see if we can get Leanne to come on. And
that's true. Maybe we'll wait on that.
We're holding out.
Yeah,
so
I forgot about that.
Well, anyway, guys, I want to chat for a minute. I don't have a Choose Your Destiny this week. I'm sorry. I don't. I have some, but I didn't actually make slides or anything. So I'm going to hold off. I apologize. And it's okay because we got so much content in here. I got to edit all this stuff anyway. Let me tell you a little bit. I'm so busy because we're doing the music now of the film. So I am actively talking to my sound guy, and every other day we're having meetings where we're doing it scene by scene. I'm so busy. So it's fine. We'll survive. But we can talk. We can ask questions. Is something else you want to do instead? I don't want to like boring ask you what you think because we don't have the graphics, you know?
Yeah, let's ask us some questions here for.
Yeah, let's cap this. Ask a couple of questions, man. Oh, I wanted to say too. So once again, we got demonetized. Those fuckers. So please, if you guys want to support us, man, we do have Patreon up still, but we're gonna be back in full action in October. So we're just trying to stay afloat until then. We are moving. We're not doing the game content over here. I created a Revival House Plays channel. So the Twitter is going to be all games. And then I got a Revival House YouTube channel that will also be streaming the game stuff casually on. So I'll have to share that with everybody here soon. And yeah, there's a lot of like overhauling and facelift stuff is going to be going on over the next couple of months. So, you know, let's see.
I
Riverman.
wasn't trolling, by the way, James.
I I have my doubts too, right? I have my
I
doubts too.
I have the VHS autograph by Corey Feldman. I have the one sheet. If I can find any other movie memorabilia from
Oh,
that
you
movie.
did get that signed when you saw him live.
Yes, yes.
Did you stay there or did somebody get it for you? Did you
Somebody
stay?
got it for me because you had to pay like an extra $70 to get
Yeah.
a meet and
Yeah.
greet, and I'm
Well,
like,
you're
I'm not
not a
doing
huge
that.
fan then. I thought you were a huge fan.
You know what? He didn't get to the concert arena until 11 o'clock, so he didn't sign until like 2:30 a.m. And
It's
I couldn't.
crazy.
I'm in my 30s, man. I can't be up that late.
Disrespectful, dude. The Wolfpack kept him up. They kept him on the run. Is that
Well,
why he
yeah,
couldn't show up?
you wanna get pricked, man.